So when it comes to the UFC, there are a lot of times that two fighters will fight and it will go to the judges' scorecards and the fight will get scored and the person that we thought should have won didn't win. Now, for most people, this only happens about one time in their career, all right, where they get a robbery. It's like, oh shit, I really think I should have got the decision. But for some people, the judges just fucking hate them. The judges just don't want to give them the victory no matter what they do. So Tony Has Died, will be telling you about the top 10 UFC fighters that the judges hate. Let's get straight into this, starting with number 10 on my list, which is Sean Strickland. Sean Strickland is the CEO of split decisions. I'm pretty sure he has the most split decisions in UFC history. And it all has to do with his fighting style, where he doesn't really throw powerful shots. He's a super defensive fighter. He mostly just jabs, teeps, 1-2, 1-2, 1-1, 1-2. You know, that's what Sean Strickland does. And even if he does win a fight, it always is going to be up to the perception of the judges whether he gets the decision or not, because his style, it doesn't really do a lot of damage. So it's like cumulative damage. You know, it's like you land 300 jabs. That's what Sean Strickland does, right? And so you got fights like the Jared Cannonier fight, which could have gone to Sean Strickland. The first fight with Dricus could have gone to Sean Strickland. And those are the only two that I would say that you could say are robberies. But you look at some of these other fights, like the Jack Hermanson fight. One of the judges gave Jack Hermanson 4 rounds. No idea how. And then you look at the Paulo Costa fight. A judge scored that fight for Paulo Costa as well. And he does have some other strict split decisions like earlier in his career as well. So Sean Strickland in the judges' scorecard, sometimes he gets the nod, sometimes he gets robbed, but most of the time it's just fucking boring to watch. Dude, we're going to go to fucking war. We're going to go to fucking war for you. No, you're not, bro. You're not going to fucking war, bro, with anybody, bro. You're Sean Strickland. But that's number 10 on my list. At number 9 on my list, I got Carlos Condit. Condit has 2 split decision losses on his record, and one of them was for the belt. That is right. His fight against Robbie Lawler was a split decision loss, and I think that most people can agree that Condit should have been the person that walked away with the W that night. When you look at the round, if we go round by round, Carlos clearly won round 1. Round 2, Robbie Lawler won. Round 3, you got to give it to Condit. And I think that he won round 4, and that's the round where people, say is the fucking swing round, bro. Now, Lawler did good in the last round, and he rocked Condit badly, but I thought he was already down 3 rounds by the time it came to the 5th round. And so, yeah, man, I just don't see how you could give this fight to Robbie Lawler. Even round 2, fucking Condit outlanded Robbie Lawler by 7 strikes, 17-10, So I do think that Carlos Condit was robbed in this fight. And the reason I got to put, I know this is only one robbery really, but because it's for the belt, got to keep it up there. So Carlos Condit gets robbed a lot, number 9. And number 8 on the list, I got Michael Johnson. There are 2 fights with Michael Johnson that make me just question what the judges see, bro. The first one is this fight with Jamie Malarkey. I think almost all of the media outlets, including myself, scored that fight for Michael Johnson, okay? But it was still a close fight, but we think Michael Johnson should have won that shit, right? But then the real one is the split decision with Beneil Dariush, bro. And Beneil Dariush, he's gone on to be a great fighter in the division. Now, we know the whole shtick about Michael Johnson. He's the GOAT of the division, has a win over Tony, has a win over Dustin, had a really close fight with Gaethje, didn't get finished by, well, he actually did get finished by Khabib. But he has close fights with all these legends in the game, but they just screw him over every time, just like this Dariush fight. I think Johnson clearly wins round 1 and 2 of this fight, so the judges, they just hate Michael Johnson, bro. He goes to split decisions a little bit, like a lot. He has some close. He has also has some close decisions that he's lost as of recently. If I'm remembering this correctly, I'm not sure if I am 100% because, bro, I can't remember every single fight. So correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure his fight with Clay Guida could have gone to Michael Johnson as well. So I don't know. I might be stepping on some fucking thorns saying that. I might be wrong with that take. I can't really remember. I didn't rewatch that fight, but I think that fight, if I'm remembering correctly, could have gone to Johnson. But this Dariush fight is the main reason because I think Johnson clearly won this shit. I think everyone knows Johnson won this shit as well. So yeah, the next fighter that gets robbed a lot is Jared Gordon. You look at Jared Gordon's record, bro. He has a bunch of split decisions in his last couple of fights. Most notably, this is how this fight right here, the fight against Paddy Pimblett, made me start to question if the UFC was fucking rigged. It made me start to wonder if the UFC was rigged because of how bad a decision this was, bro. I do not know how anybody on earth can score this fight for Paddy Pimblett, bro. But yeah, Jared Gordon, he just got knocked out by Rafa Garcia in his last fight. But before that, I would have said that Jared Gordon deserves to be ranked in the division because you look at who he's lost to. It's Charles Oliveira and Grant Dawson. And then you look at the other people he fought. And I honestly thought that he should have won the decision in every single one of those fights. The Nasrat Haqparast fight is a robbery. Okay? The fucking Bobby Green fight, that was a headbutt. Okay? But even the, who's the other person he lost to? I'm blanking right now. He has another split decision. I can't remember who it's against. Yeah, it's just Paddy and Nasrat are the split decisions. But the Paddy one is so bad, bro. Like, it was blatant robbery. Straight out of fucking anything like the worst shit you've ever seen. So, I gotta have Jared Gordon on this list. The next person on this list is Johnny Hendricks, who debatably beat one of the greatest fighters of all time in Georges St. Pierre. Joe, I lost to Robbie Lawler, but we're going to go see some dinosaurs. Okay, Joe? We're going to go look at some dinosaurs. I'll leave it out. But I honestly think that Johnny Hendricks should have won this fight. Now, a lot of people might put Johnny Hendricks a little bit higher on this list because he also has the robbery loss to Robbie Lawler as well, just 2 fights later. And that was for the belt as well, which is what's crazy. And he beat Robbie Lawler for the belt. So, it's questionable, bro. But the reason I have him a little bit lower is because I'm pretty sure he was on steroids when him and GSP fought each other. And so I'll give GSP some leeway and the judges really shouldn't be giving the judges leeway because they should score the fight how you should fucking score it, bro. And a lot of people scored this fight for Hendricks. But I do think he was robbed in the second Lawler fight. And yeah, man, I think the GSP fight could have gone either way. I'm not going to just sit here and be like, okay, that's a blatant robbery, right? Because not all decisions that I think should go the other way are robberies. It's like sometimes it's too close to call. But for like in this case, I think it's too close to call. But you look at GSP's face after the fight, I think we know who won, and I think Dana knew who won as well. So I got to put Johnny Hendricks on this list. The next person that gets robbed all the time is Alexander Gustafsson. Dude, the fucking judges must hate Gustafsson because he has 2 losses that could have gone either way. Now, I will say the Jones fight, I think Jones won it. I think the DC fight, there's a better argument to say that Gustafsson won the DC fight rather than the Jones fight. And that's what everyone gives Gustafsson credit for is the Jones fight. But I think the DC fight is even more impressive because he had DC fucking hurt at some moments in this fight. Stuffed a bunch of his takedowns. He did a lot of good work in that fight. Now, he's not very good in the rematches. But if you give Gustafsson the win over DC and the win over Jones, that's like a legacy. That's like an insane legacy at light heavyweight, bro. And it just sucks that, well, I guess it doesn't suck because I think the judges just hate him, bro. There are arguments to give him the DC fight for sure, and the Jones fight. I guess there is an argument for the Jones fight, but I gave the Jones fight to Jones. I think it's just because of how competitive it was. A lot of people like to say that Gustafsson won, but I still think Jones won the fight. But With the DC fight, bro, I do think that Gustafsson low-key should have beaten Daniel Cormier. I think he should have Daniel Cormier's name on his resume. It just sucks, bro, because his 2 chances to become champion, he got robbed in the DC one, not the Jones one. But you can make an argument for the Jones one. I'm not gonna hate you too hard if you say that he won that one. So yeah, I gotta have Gustafsson on this list, man. He's one of the greatest fighters to never win the belt for sure. The next fighter that gets robbed all the time is Jan Blachowicz, bro. Jan Blachowicz. I think he won the Magomed Ankalaev fight. This might just be me as an Ankalaev hater saying this, bro. But I honestly thought that Blachowicz won rounds 1, 2, and 3. And I don't think that round 5 is good enough for a 10-8. I do not think that the 5th round of that fight should be a 10-8. I do think that Blachowicz won the first 3 rounds, completely obliterated Ankalaev's leg. Then you go to the Pereira fight, another split decision. Now, I do think Pereira won the fight, but the 3rd round, it was a close round. It really was. I mean, Blachowicz took Pereira down. He did a little bit of damage. I don't think he did enough to win the round, but another split decision on Blachowicz's resume that could have gone to him. And then you look at the Carlos Ulberg fight, man. I thought that Blachowicz won the Ulberg fight as well, bro. I really do, man. I really do. The fucking Ulberg fight. What did Ulberg do? He just fucking jabbed, and he didn't do I think Blachowicz landed better shots in that fight, man. The whole time. I really do think that he beat Ulberg. Now, he did not look the same Blachowicz as he did, bro, but it just seems like Jan Blachowicz is always coming down on the wrong side of the scorecards when it comes to this type of shit, bro. And so, yeah, I got to include him on this list. The fight with Pereira, the fight with Ankalaev, the fight with Carlos Ulberg. The judges just fucking hate Blachowicz, bro. The next fighter we got to talk about is Petr Yan. Now, I know a lot of people would probably have Petr Yan at number 1 on this list, but I don't. Because I do think that he lost the Aldo fight, the second one. And I do think that he lost the O'Malley fight. And the fight with the Aldo the first time, it was an illegal knee. All right. And for those reasons, bro, I have to have Petr Yan a little bit lower. But I don't think that they were just straight up. I think that you could give Petr Yan the Aldo fight on damage. I did score for Aldo, but I do think that there is an argument to give Petr Yan the Aldo fight on damage. And I do think that there is an argument to give Petr Yan the O'Malley fight as well, bro. I'm not, if you say Petr Yan won the fight, I'm not hating, bro. I could see it for sure, bro. But I do think that he lost both of those fights. But I have to have him on this list just because of how unlucky he gets in almost all of these matchups. You look at this fight with Aldo, could have gone either way. The judges just gave it to Aldo. The judges give it to O'Malley. The judges, the first fight with Aldo, the fucking referee could have just said, y'all got to keep fighting. Or they could have gone to the scorecards. It could have, but not been a disqualification where they go to the scorecards. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes if something illegal happens in a fight, they'll go to the scorecards and then they'll judge it that way. But they just gave Aldo the W in the first fight. And so, yeah, man, this guy is hated by the judges. I don't think he's liked by the UFC for some reason either. He has such a fun style to watch. But the UFC, they won't give him another title shot against Merab. I'm not sure what the reasoning is because he's on a 3-fight win streak now. Let's see the Yan fight, bro. Let's see the rematch. But gotta include Petr Yan. He always gets unlucky on the scorecards for sure, bro. Fights that could have gone either way, they never end up going towards Yan. The next fighter we need to talk about is Yoel Romero, who has split decisions with Paulo Costa, Israel Adesanya, and Robert Whittaker. The Robert Whittaker fight could have gone either way. But I do think that you have to give Yoel the Adesanya fight on damage, which is crazy to say that because both guys didn't throw anything in the whole fight. But you still have to give Yoel that fight on damage, bro. And even the fucking Paulo Costa fight, I thought that Yoel won the Paulo Costa fight as well, bro. So if you give him the Adesanya, the Whitaker and the Paulo Costa fight, Yoel Romero, there's an argument that he is a top 5 he's a top 5 middleweight of all time. Woo! 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 The people pay! The people pay pay-per-view! The people pay! They rob Yoel Romero back to back to back. Not back to back to back, but it seems like he's just always ending up on the wrong side of the scorecards. The Robert Whitaker fight, the Adesanya fight, which was the most boring fight of all time. And he obviously, it seems like he just doesn't like believe in himself when he goes into these kind of fights. I don't know if that's a good way to explain how Yoel fights, where it's like, okay, I'd rather go to a decision kind of sometimes. But he's always barely just coming out short, bro. And so if you just put in that one more ounce of effort, bro, the judges will give you the fight. But the judges just fucking hate Yoel, bro. Let's keep it a stack. And who is the fighter that gets robbed the most out of everybody? Jose Aldo Jr. Jose Aldo Jr. has like 4 robberies on his resume, bro. The first robbery that came up was the Marlon Moraes fight, which was a split decision that was so bad that they ended up giving Jose Aldo a title shot. He got robbed so bad against Marlon Moraes that they gave him a title shot, all right? Then you go to the Merab fight, and Merab literally just holds Jose Aldo against the cage for 3 rounds straight. There is an argument that Jose Aldo could have won that fight off of damage. Now, I will say, this is where we really start to see Jose Aldo's weakness get exploited. Volk was the first person to do it, but this fight is where Jose Aldo really just started pushing people against the fence. I mean, he started getting, he just wouldn't get off the cage, basically, right? So then you got the Merab fight. Then the biggest robbery, the Mario Batista fight, where anytime this fight was in distance, Mario Batista was getting absolutely destroyed on the feet by Jose Aldo. Anytime this fight was not in the clinch. There's no way you can give the 3rd round to Mario Batista, bro. He literally got separated and just shot a takedown immediately again. And didn't do any damage on the fence at all. Jose Aldo had this motherfucker doing the jelly leg whenever they were on the feet together, bro. So the Mario Batista fight, that's another robbery. And the final robbery is the Amin Zahabi fight. Now, I do think that this fight is a little bit closer. But in the 3rd round, Jose Aldo basically almost knocked out Zahabi. And that's the only round I think you can give to Zahabi because of how he rallied. But the first 2 rounds, even though they were close, I think you have to give him to Jose Aldo. And so you look at Jose Aldo, who's on the wrong side of 4 close decisions. You got to put him at number 1 on this list. The judges just fucking hate Jose Aldo Jr. for some reason. And if you take away those 4 robberies, this dude has a resume of 38-6, bro. 38-6 losses, and his only losses are like the greatest fighters, bro. And he would have Merab on his fucking resume as well. And so, bro, you have like Jose Aldo, he just gets robbed so fucking much, bro. It's not even funny. So, gotta have him at number 1. But that will do it for the video. If you like the video, like, subscribe, do all that YouTube shit. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.